let's get it, let's get it, let's get it. Y'all know what time it is. It is playoff time in the DML, and Road to Greatness has returned. Now, what we're going to be doing today is sitting down with a couple of the teams that have made a playoff push. All right, we're going to ask these guys some tough questions, and basically going to pretty much break down why they feel like they have the best shot at winning a DML banner this postseason. So we ain't going to hold y'all up. Let's dive into these conversations. We got Sweets, the owner of the New England Patriots. What's going on, Sweets?
Yo, what up, man?
All right, man. All right, let's get into it. All right, you sitting at 10-6 right now in the season. Not quite that ideal season that you had last year, but let's talk ups and downs this season. Had what was some ups, what was some downs, what was your take from, this year and closing out against the Chicago Bears in the bus?
Oh man, so this season I had a little bit of trouble with my internet, man. We ended up switching just because the internet provider we had was terrible, okay. And we switched over to something good. So, when I switched over, I started winning again.
Got you.
And, so it played a big part. But, man, I've just been trying to, make this team better, man. My wide receiver core is coming along. They young. I drafted a nice young Philip Curtis, man. He's a beast. He's a speedster. But I still am missing one more piece to give me them. I like those receivers, man. I got to have three pieces that all go together.
Now I'm gonna leave that question for the receivers later, because you know I'm gonna go ahead with that. But all right, let's talk last season. So you had a terrific year with, by far, the defense was loaded, but in my opinion, the offense really didn't have too much of an identity. They didn't have a crazy rushing attack. They didn't have, like you said, a crazy wide receiver group. But you seem to just make things click. You have a great season, you go to the playoffs, and you run up against Styles, and things just fell apart. Now, you coming into this postseason, is there any type of baggage that's lingering around out there in New England? Because right now you're sitting at that last slot, which has you going up against Gav, and you ran into Gav last year in the postseason, and things seemed to tip a little bit in Gav's favor. So what's your mindset as far as that?
All right, so I got to correct you now. I did beat Styles.
Oh yeah, my fault. You did beat Styles.
I made it to the AFC Championship. Correct. I got to go up against Gav. Internet was bad, and then just a bad game all around. So Gav won that, and then he went to the Super Bowl. This year, right now I am sitting at 10-6. Mm-hmm. I just got a win over Tightwork, who is leading the division. So technically, right now I am leading the division with one game to go against the bus. Mm-hmm. So it's gonna come down to it. I'm hoping we can finish out strong and win this division, so I don't have to play against Gav at the number 2 seed, and I can maybe get somebody a lower seed or something. But man, to be honest with you, every year I'm looking for the same thing. We're trying to get into the playoffs. We're trying to win that game. That first game in the playoffs is always crucial. Mm-hmm. And then, we ride the momentum, man. We're trying to make it to the Super Bowl, man. That's the goal every year.
Now, just lead me to my next one. All right, so right now in the AFC, we got some new blood in the playoffs right now, which is Flair. You got Flair.
Flair is in the playoffs?
Yes, sir. He's sitting right now at the number 5 slot. Flair got things clicking out there in Denver. So you got Flair sitting at I'm going down the playoff bracket right now of teams that's currently sitting, and then I'm gonna go over guys somewhat on the bubble. So you got, of course, KP with the Baltimore Ravens. Right now it seems like he has their number 1 seed locked up. Then you have Gav at the number 2 slot, Tyreek at the number 3 slot, well, currently sitting at the number 3 slot, but I'm pretty sure that'll switch with you and him because of 2-1. And you have Styles with the Kansas City Chiefs, Flair with the Denver Broncos at number 5, and you have Eddie at the number 6 slot. Looking at that bracket right there, is it anybody that you're looking at and you're praying like, just let the chips fall in my favor, because this is the guy that I want to play the first round, because I know that I can smoke this guy? Now, and look, you seen what I posted in the chat. You can't dodge the smoke on this show. So
yeah.
Just looking at that, like knowing who do you not, I ain't gonna say own, because we definitely got some good users in the DML, but it is what it is. Who do you feel like that you could just totally run through out of those guys that I just mentioned?
Oh man, so I ain't gonna dodge the smoke. I definitely can get Flair, even though Flair's my dog, man. And I want to see him do good, but just not against me. I have gotten Styles a few times, but he's hot right now, so we're gonna stay away from my homies. You know what I'm saying? I definitely got to get at Andy Forrest if I can, man. He has beat me before, and I've beaten him too. But I hate losing to this guy. I really do. His team is super loaded. He's got a nice squad, but I hate losing to the Browns. So I definitely want to hit the Browns. If it's one team, I definitely I'm looking at. I don't want to play tight again because we played too much during the season. But if I can get at Gav or KP early, you know, just because, man, they the top, and if you go to the playoffs, you got to play the top to you know, see where you at, where your game is at. Nobody wants to go to the playoffs and get an easy win, man. I don't want to do that. I want to beat the best so that I don't have to play them later. You know what I'm saying?
No, 100%. I feel you. Great answer. Now, of course, next question, which, you know, I was going to definitely come to you. All right, so we got some guys that's balling out this year, man. Got a lot of superstar X factors jumping off the board. You got a lot of guys with these young quarterbacks who's getting top tier performances out of them. Do you still, and once again, the things that you have done in the past have made me feel like you should have been crowned, and still holds the crown of best passer in the DML. Do you still feel like you hold that title with Gab with Trevor Lawrence, who's balling out, KP with Lamar Jackson, who's balling out, and Styles with Patrick Mahomes, who's balling out?
I definitely think Mac Jones was behind the 8 ball when he first started. I mean, of course, he's behind Lamar. Lamar will win Madden just because of the way Madden plays. You know what I mean? He'll run, and he'll throw. KP's balling with him. I think I feel like I got a better passing game than Gav, but Gav started off with more. You know, Lawrence started off as a superstar. So, you know, after his 500 snaps, man, he was ready to go, ready to launch him, and he's balling with him, man. He's got like records, and he's doing his thing. But I'm coming from the gutter, bro. We coming from 85 throw power, 71 overall. You know what I'm saying? Mac Jones is gonna be that. He gonna be that Drew Lock. He gonna be that Kyler Murray. He gonna be every quarterback that I played with before. It just might take a little bit, but I'm getting there. Let me get my team set up, man. Let me get some weapons that somebody that can be scared of. You know what I'm saying? Then bam, the quarterback play will be there. But, you know, I just started off, man. I started behind the 8 ball. We just got to build him up, man. That's what it's all about.
All right, man. Closing. The people want to know, what's your percentage on you feel like getting a banner this postseason?
Ah, man. All right, so my percentage on getting a banner, man, and I'm gonna put this on myself because I put the most heat on myself. 95%, I will be getting a banner this year. And I'm putting the pressure all on me. You know what I mean? I'm not talking. I mean, it ain't about, you know, who I'm playing and nothing like that. It's all on me, man. If I don't get it done, I ain't got nobody to blame but myself. So, hey, I'm trying to get out here and get it, man. I ain't out here playing for fun, man. I play because I want to win.
No, 100%. Listen, 100%. And we have seen you build some great teams in the past. And this New England Patriots team, man, tip my hat off to you because the roster structure, I wouldn't have seen a lot of guys have them clicking how you got them clicking. But appreciate you jumping on the show, man.
Yes, sir. I appreciate it, bro.
Coming in next, we got Bino, the owner of those Philadelphia Eagles. What's going on, Bino?
What's going on, Dynasty?
All right, man. All right, you know, we're here to talk football. And, of course, road to greatness, your chances on winning. Best shot at you winning the banner this postseason. So let's talk Eagles football. Right now, man, we're going to just dive right into it. I feel like this has been, by far, one of those seasons where your Philadelphia Eagles is still trying to figure some things out on both sides of the ball, because looking at these numbers right now, and I know by far you're not impressed with any of these numbers. Right now you're putting up 32 points per game on the offense side of the ball, which has you ranked 10th in the league, and then your defense is trailing right behind with allowing 30 points per game. So the question I have is, do you feel like you have enough turnaround time with the postseason approaching in one advance, and right now in the NFC, it look like you got some real heavy hitters making some noise on that playoff bracket, and you still got a couple good guys on the bubble? So do you feel like you have enough turnaround time to get this defense clicking and matching this offense?
Yeah, I think so. There's some adjustments that I have to make. I mean, if you look at my roster, there's one gaping, hole, and that's at the linebacker position. So I got to make the adjustment to put people in the right position and use some formation cells when necessary to kind of have that as a hidden strength. But outside of that, I do think I got a pretty good shot. I mean, my secondary is pretty stout. My defensive line is pretty stout. We just got to make the right plays and actually capitalize and execute when the play is called.
Okay. All right, now, like I mentioned before, so you got out of a couple teams that's inside of the postseason. You got, of course, Omatic with the Buccaneers. This season, you lost to them by 3. You have the Bus, of course, who you beat by 4. You have, of course, my Green Bay Packers, who you beat by 3. And then you have the Washington football team, I believe, who you ran off of the mat with a 28-7 victory. Out of each one of those guys that I just mentioned, because I'm asking a lot of guys that's hopping on this show, who do you feel like gives you the most easiest shot at making a run to at least the NFC Championship?
Oh man, you trying to start some controversy?
Look. I mean, you seen the post. We not dodging no smoke. We want guys fired up coming into this postseason.
Yeah, I would have to say probably the Bucks, only because of their gaping weakness, which is that secondary still. You know what I mean? And if you look at my team, I think one of the strengths I got is the wide receiver position. You know what the Bus is coming with every time he comes, right? You gotta have your A game. I know under all too well. I actually play him again week 18, so we'll see how that shapes out. And he's a pretty tough matchup for me, I'm not gonna lie. So I'll probably have to say Randy, and then them Packers, man, I'm gonna just leave that alone because that game was all too close. I was at the edge of my seat.
Definitely was a good closeout game. Definitely was. I took my head off. You was battle tested for sure.
All right.
So you said the Bucks. So
yeah.
All right. Now that brings me to my next question. When you said that the secondary is weak, do you feel like you have that one punch combo with Devontae Smith and Will Roberts? Because I'm looking at the numbers, and Devontae Smith, we already know, since last season, when y'all sat down, man, and y'all meditated together, y'all went on the spa, y'all went out to get some drinks. It just seemed like since after that point, Devontae Smith has developed into one of the best wide receivers when it comes to you having to know where this guy's at all times. So you got Will Roberts, who's not trailing too far behind. He has 49 receptions on the season, 835 receiving yards, and he had 11 receiving touchdowns. Do you feel like you got that? You're developing that one two-punch combo with them two guys?
Absolutely. And then one thing that's left out is Will Roberts missed 6 games. You know what I mean? So them numbers can be a lot more, higher, but absolutely, man. I think, when you look at the stats, my passing numbers ain't that high. I throw a lot of picks every now and then, but when I'm in my A game and I'm able to make the right throws, I trust those guys. I'll throw it in the double coverage sometimes, and Devontae Smith will come down with it.
Oh yeah,
more times than not.
Listen, if y'all tuning in, believe me, he's not lying, because I got a taste of that. I got a taste of that, and that cost me a new controller. But I'm listening, man. All right, so I'm listening. Go ahead, you finish up.
No, I think so. I think that, and then Dallas Goedert is slept on. I think me being the Eagles fan, at heart, I think that he got all the potential in the world. There's nothing he can't do. So I would say 1, 2.5.
Okay.
And then Miles Sanders, I gotta talk about Miles real quick.
Go, let the people know. They want to know. Let them know.
And man, Miles Sanders is something different. I think he's the second coming to Saquon. Right? If I got to toot my own horn, I think he's the second coming to Saquon on the Madden game. He's mad elusive. He's not dropping no pass, and he's not letting the ball loose. Y'all look out, man. Y'all beware.
Yeah, this is another Penn State boy, and by far, just looking at the numbers, like the numbers don't lie. He's sitting with 1,477 yards on the ground, 11 rushing touchdowns, and we're not even going to talk about the receiving. So he's one of those guys, once again, like you just said, where he's a dual down running back, where he can even get it for you putting up 5.6 yards per carry. God damn, that's amazing right there. Like it's that's crazy. So all right, in closing, man, the people want to know, what do you feel like your percentage is at winning the banner this postseason?
At winning the banner, if I'm gonna be real, I probably got like a 50% chance, and that's just to get out of the NFC. No disrespect to the AFC, but there's a lot that I still need to see. You know, in the NFC, like you mentioned, there's people on the bubble that can, you know, stomp your face in. You know what I'm saying? So we're gonna see what the AFC is about. I like my chances to get to the bowl at 50%. I got 2 games to win and then one last dance. So we'll see, man. It's gonna be tight. It's gonna be close. I'm gonna have to lock in and really study and scout. But I like my chances, man. I like my chances a lot.
Man, y'all heard it first from Bino, the owner of those Philadelphia Eagles, man. Appreciate you jumping on the show.
Yes, sir. Appreciate you having me, man.
Bringing in, we got the Bus, the owner of them Chicago Bears. What's going on, Bus?
What's going on, man?
All right, man. All right. So you know your squad clicking right now. Out of the last 11 games, y'all went 10-1. Things started off a little bit rocky the beginning of the season, but it seems like you guys are definitely clicking in one of the hottest teams right now going into the postseason. All right, but let's talk Justin Fields. 47 INTs on the season right now, and 24 touchdowns, which I'm pretty sure you don't like that pass ratio right there. But one thing I do like is his completion percentage. All right, heading into the postseason, is there somehow, some way, you as the user can get Justin Fields to hit that restart button and just get that offense clicking in the right direction? Or because it's going to be situations, how can I say, it's going to be situations where as though he's going to have to step up and come out and make this offense which was built on run first, turn it to a pass first type of offense, sprinkling in the passing tech. Do you feel like you can hit the reset button on this guy and have him clicking to where as though he's putting this offense in the best position to achieve greatness this postseason?
Yeah, man. Well, you know, when the playoffs start, you got to hit reset anyway.
Okay.
You know, that's a whole nother season, man. But, you know, to Justin Fields' defense, I mean, we did bring in a new offensive coordinator, so we got a new playbook, and I think it's just starting to click for him. I think he's realizing that this particular playbook is really centered around his skill set of being able to escape the pocket and utilize his speed. So, if you notice the last couple weeks, his interceptions have been down a little bit. He's been running a lot more, and the team has gotten to the point where they've been running more. So, once the postseason hit, man, it's gonna be, we gonna get back to what we do, and that's run the ball.
Got you. Now I'll ask you. This is my next question. Now, looking at the playoff bracket right now, because it's some new guys in there on the other side. But however, the NFC seems to be that regular core group of guys who was there last year. With some guys still in the hunt. Looking at that playoff bracket, if there's one user that not gonna, you know, we will keep it raw on this show. If you could avoid either someone knocking them out or avoiding them up to the point where you're at that NFC Championship slot, which user, if you look at that playoff bracket, who would it be?
Man, I'm gonna keep it a buck. So I might say Vitamin.
Okay.
And I played him once already this season, man, but that was early, so I'm pretty sure his game has evolved since then. But I don't know, for some reason, man, Vitamin, he just gives me issues, man. And you know, and I'm gonna say another guy, the Cardinals expert. I think me and him just go back and forth, and our competitiveness when we play each other, we just really want to beat each other down. So with me, when I see him on the schedule, my thought is to blow him out, and I think I get away from my game a lot instead of just focusing on winning the game. But hey, man, I felt like I should have won the Super Bowl last year. I felt like I should have won that joker last year, or at least been in it. So this year right here, I don't care who's on the schedule. Once that playoff starts, it's gonna be on and popping. So y'all better be ready. You don't want to come to Chicago because it's gonna be cold, it's gonna be snowing, and we built for that. So I don't care who's on the schedule. I don't care.
Now that leads me to my next question. All right. Now your name's up in the rafter with that beautiful red and gold.
Yeah.
Right. But does it hit different, or is there a better feeling or sensation coming from when you do it with your home team that you love, that you're rooting for every Sunday? Because you back in Chicago, and just like the LeBron situation where he won it and he yelled out and streamed out Cleveland, does it put a whole lot more on you to do it for Chicago, the team that you love?
And it doesn't really do it a whole lot more as far as like there's really no pressure on me, because just like LeBron, man, sometimes you got to leave home to get that taste of how the Super Bowl is, and then you want to bring it back. So that's what we at right now. You know what I'm saying? So I promise you, we are gonna bring a banner back to Chicago, whether it's this year, next year, or the following. But one is gonna be coming, and y'all know how I do. The banner is like potato chips. You can't just get one. So you better hope I don't get in that groove where I'm going back to back to back. Because last season I went to 5 straight Super Bowls.
Listen, man, oh my God,
and won 3 of them.
See, this is the thing, man, and I was able to watch that nice run you had, man. And it was dangerous because for guys that's tuning in and listening, man, and isn't familiar with the bus game style, man, this dude is one of by far the top 3 rushers in the DML. This dude added a fucking passing attack to his offense last year, and that shit, it just unleveled the playing field, man. Because now it's like, damn, you got to lock into not only shutting down that hell of a running back by the name of Mr. Oh So Good. Now, it just made everything dangerous. So I don't want you to definitely get in that groove because I'm in your division this year. So, please.
But you beat me twice this year, though. You beat me twice.
See, that's the thing. I beat you twice, but it seemed like I can't beat nobody else. That's the thing. It's like I came in, I was like, all right, I'm gonna beat the bus, but now I'm locked in on that. I can't beat nobody else. But I definitely don't want you to get in that type of rhythm. Now, closing, man. Let the people want to know what is your percentage on how you feel about your chances of getting the banner this postseason?
100%.
Woo, y'all heard it. 100%.
100%.
100%. Hey. Ain't nothing to talk about. You heard what he
said? Ain't nothing to talk about. 100%.
The Super Bowl, up until the Super Bowl, is running through Chicago. It's nothing to talk about.
Yeah.
Y'all heard it, man. So I appreciate you jumping on, man. Hopefully you can get that success unless we meet inside of the NFC Championship, man. But let's get it.
Sir.
All right, bringing in, we got Gav, the owner of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Gav, what's going on, man?
OG, what's going on?
All right, man. So you developed some nicknames in the DML. They consider you Mr. Toxic himself, and it's been a new one rising up as the new Spam King as the DML. But we gonna get into that. But we here to talk about you achieving greatness this postseason. All right. So you head into the playoffs with one by far, in my opinion, with one of the best 3-hit combos in the league with quarterback Trevor Lawrence, who has impressive numbers across the board, leading, I believe, all quarterback categories right now currently. You have wide receiver DJ Chalk, who's on pace right now to break the DML single season receiving record, and that deadly rushing attack who took a mild step back, but it's still dangerous in my opinion. Then after mentioning all those nice little shiny toys, man, what seems to have this offense and this team clicking? It seemed like they didn't miss a beat after setting the bar high last year, and they just come in and they're repeating the same exact thing this year. What seems got this squad clicking, man?
I'll tell you for sure, man. Like you said, we definitely like to hit quarterback, receivers, and running backs, all 3 phases. This year, for sure, we took a minor step back with running Etienne and Robinson. They still getting their tubs, but the yards ain't there. My goal this year, to be honest with you, was to be the most prolific passer in the DML. And like you said, Trevor Lawrence is damn near 1,000 yards more passing than every other quarterback, leads in touchdowns, has one of the lowest interception, probably has the lowest or the most interception to touchdown ratio, or you know what I'm saying with that. But we're being really efficient with that ball. And here's a stat that most people don't know. DJ's doing his thing. We all expected that. My tight end as well. is gonna be my second receiver, and I don't know if anybody has ever done this, but I'm gonna have 2 receivers with over 100 receptions and 1,000 yards as well. So really, just wanted to come out and pass that shit, man, air that bitch out, and dare you to stop me. So that was the goal plan going in.
All right, that leads me to my next question. You made it to the Super Bowl last year, and fortunately, you did lose. But it seems like, is this team heading into the postseason, right? How can you get your guys mentally ready for that? As far as even as a user, like how do you get yourself mentally ready for that? Knowing, like, is the pressure on with knowing, okay, the passing attack is there, the rushing attack is there, everything is still there that we had last year when we fell short. Now you're entering the postseason. How can you get yourself mentally locked in to where as though you don't allow the pressure to break you?
Man, to be honest with you, especially in the DML, man, it's tough to get to back-to-back Super Bowls. But with that being said, man, the real pressures is getting past the people that we call the GOATs and the devs, man. Tight's putting together a really good season. I'm gonna have to see him at some point. Styles got a great team. I'm gonna have to see him at some point. Sweets, don't even got to speak on him. That's the GOAT. He got a good team, man. It's just playing my game, to be honest with you. Can't really let what other people doing deteriorate from my game plan, which is, like I said, airing that bitch out. And I do believe, man, I don't think there's a person in the league that can stop me once I'm doing that. So, man, just sticking to the game plan, keeping focused and expecting to be back in the Super Bowl.
Okay, then let's talk defense, because you only took a couple losses this season. However, something that stood out to me in each loss was the run defense. All right, so you took 4 losses on the season. You had 1 against the Chargers, who rushed for 262. Then the next loss you had against the Browns and Andy, who rushed for 322. Then you had 1 against the Bus, who rushed for 153. And then Bino and those Eagles with 129. Do you feel like you have enough time to stop the bleeding, to get your defense somehow clicking to where as though, even if they can't stop it, but slow it down to where as though all those numbers that I just mentioned gets cut in half and put your defense in the best position to basically lock up games for you in the postseason?
This is what I say to this, man, because I feel like every good user, you got to know your weaknesses, right? I've been getting my ass beat when it comes to run defense this year, man. I don't know what it is. We've been awful. But I'll say this, even with all that being said, in all them games were 7-point or less games that it came down to. And I want to say the majority of them, if the turnover margin wasn't equal, I lost it. And that's something that I hold myself high to. I take pride in, is take care of that ball. So even if the situation comes up again, try running the ball for 200 yards. I'm going to let you run the ball for 200 yards. The moment that you pass, and I'm pretty sure, if I'm not still, you can go look it up. I got the #1 pass defense in the DML.
You still crowning that right now. You still holding it.
Hey, throw that bitch if you want to, because it's easy to run the ball. You got to score just as much points as me. And if I'm taking care of the ball and scoring, running the ball, you better hope that you can break 80-yard runs every time. Because if you can't, it's going to be a long, long game. And at some point in time, you're going to have to pass that thing. So I know what my weaknesses are, man. I'm letting you run on me. If that's how you beat me, then oh well. But the moment you pass, that's your ass.
Okay, all right, then closing, man. All right, what's your percentage on you having the best opportunity to get a banner this postseason?
Keeping it 100% toxic, 100%. We looking to run through everybody in the AFC, and whoever is lucky enough to make it to be my opponent from the NFC, whooping that ass too. I'm sorry.
Man, y'all heard it from Gav himself, man. 100% on the board. Stamp. Appreciate you jumping on the show, man.
Yes, sir. Y'all be easy.
Next up, we got Ramsey, the owner of those San Francisco 49ers. What's going on, Ramsey?
What's up, guys? Thanks for having me.
All right, man. You already know. All right, so you coming sitting right now at the top of the NFC. Okay. Right now, you don't pretty much have that first round bye locked up. But let's talk about this squad, man. You take a major hit. Take a major hit before jumping into the postseason, you lose Nick Bosa, of course, superstar X Factor D lineman, and I just want to know, man, heading into the postseason, where do I feel like by far this has definitely been a bounce back season for you, after seeing how this team was balling out. Playing last year. Where's you as a user? Where is your mindset at as far as getting your guys after losing by far one of, I consider, a leader type player like Nick Bosa on the defense side of the ball? Where's your mindset as a user heading into the postseason, knowing that you have some heavy hitters out there in the NFC that you got to possibly run through?
Right, and that's a great question. The violation happened. I was sorry for it. It was an accident, and then I wasn't happy with the penalty. But it is what it is. It's life. So we got to just use next man up mentality. The last game we played, the first game without him, we got blown out in KC by Steelos. So I think we need the time to adjust and figure it out. I also got some other injuries on the D line with Clowney and Armstead. So just these next 2 games are just about getting healthy. Okay. And then hopefully putting it together and making a run. And then, it sucks anytime you lose like a cornerstone piece of the franchise, like you said. But, we'll address that in the offseason. We just got to work with what we got for now.
Now, that leads me to my next question. How important, what you just mentioned in that, you're trying to regroup your guys after losing Nick Bosa. The injury bug is striking out there in San Fran. How important is it for you to lock in and seal up getting that first round bye? Because right now you sitting at 12-3 right now, but you have the Tampa Bay Buccaneers and Nomadic right on your tail at 11-4. So these next 2 games, it's not sealed up just yet. So these next 2 games are kind of very important. So where's your mentality as far as locking up these next 2 games?
Right. Yeah, I got a bunch of guys on my tail. I think Bus is right there too. He's always working. They're very important. I definitely need that first round bye, like you said, to get healthy. And I got 2 the Broncos and the Seahawks. The Seahawks always play me tough. It's a tough divisional game, and the Broncos should be a good game. We'll see. It's a must win at this point for the rest of the year. That's how I'm treating it.
Got you. Now, my next question. Looking at the playoff bracket, all right? Right now you have, I'm going to just name the teams that are sitting in the bracket, then I'm going to name the teams that are on the bubble. That's right there outside. You got Omatic with the Buccaneers. You got the Bus with the Chicago Bears. You got Bino and the Philadelphia Eagles. You have under 2 rated with the Washington football team. You have Marizi right now with the Minnesota Vikings. Then you have the Green Bay Packers sitting at the number 7 slot. Then you have on the bubble Expert with the Arizona Cardinals, who's right now the current defending Super Bowl champ. And then you have Bruce with the New York Giants, and you have Vitamin with the Dallas Cowboys. Out of all of those guys that I just mentioned, which one of those teams would you rather avoid by either someone else knocking them off or you just not playing them at all? Which one of those guys would you rather avoid in NFC to make your cake, pretty much give you more of a cakewalk to you being in that Super Bowl?
I feel you. I'll play anyone anytime, of course. But to answer the question, I always have issues. I beat Expert earlier this year, but I always have battles with him. I just feel like I don't match up with his play style. He beats me pretty good sometimes. The Bus is we always go down to the wire. For whatever reason, I don't have a lot of experience against Omatic. Because for whatever reason, every time our game's up, either I can't play or he plays. So that'd be kind of like a new opponent for me. So that'd be interesting.
Okay.
You beat me pretty good last year when we played. So, I feel like any game you play in the playoffs, no matter who you play, is gonna be a good game. So, you just gotta come ready to play.
Okay. All right, man. So the people want to know, if you had to put a percentage on it, what is your chances of you getting the banner this postseason?
I'm not going to put a number on it. I guess I couldn't even really say. I got some injuries coming in the playoffs, but I'm going to give it my all. Hopefully, if everything goes right, I'll be the 1 seed. So I guess percentage-wise, that'd give me an advantage over everyone else because I would have the bye.
Okay. All right, so y'all heard it, man. That was Ramsey himself breaking down his squad and his chances on getting the band in this postseason, man. I appreciate you jumping on the show.
I appreciate you guys, man. It's awesome work you guys are doing. So keep it up. I appreciate it.
All right, man.